Well, everybody, it's Groundhog's Day again for David Goggins. If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
Most people spend their whole damn life waiting for someone to show up. A mentor, a friend, a teammate, some magical partner who's gonna lift them out of the mud. Let me tell you something, nobody wants to hear. No one's coming. No one's coming to save you, to push you, to pull you, to carry you. The day I learned that, everything changed. See, I grew up thinking that if I could just find the right person, the right team, everything would click. But when you're sitting in your apartment at 2 a.m. with the bills piling up, the phone dead silent, and your dreams slipping further out of reach, you realize this is a one-man operation. It's not that people don't care, it's that they've got their own battles. And most of them, they're barely keeping their own heads above water. I remember the exact night it hit me. I was staring at myself in the bathroom mirror, not just looking at my face, but into my soul. And I asked the one question most people are too scared to ask: if nobody ever helped me again, would I still make it? The answer I gave myself was ugly. No, not in the state I was in. I was soft, I was dependent, I was addicted to external validation like it was oxygen. And that's when I decided to cut the cord. I stopped asking for opinions before I started something. I stopped texting 5 different people to see if they thought my idea was good. I stopped needing the damn green light. You want to know the most liberating moment of your life? It's when you realize you can take action without asking permission. That's when you get dangerous. But here's the flip side. Doing it alone isn't glamorous. It's not some cool movie montage with music and quick cuts. It's you alone in your room, fighting every urge to quit. It's the silence of no one clapping when you make a small win. It's the emptiness of nights when you wish someone understood the grind you're on and they don't. And that's the test. Because when you can still show up every damn day without a crowd cheering for you, when you can drag yourself out of bed in the cold, in the dark, in the rain, with no one holding you accountable, that's when you're becoming something unbreakable. Most people never get there. They need a pat on the back, a like on their post, a friend to say you're doing great. But you've got to train yourself to move without the applause. If you learn to love the grind alone, the rest of your life becomes unstoppable. Every time you push through alone, you're building a type of confidence that no one can take away because they didn't give it to you in the first place. Remember this, if you need them to start, you'll need them to finish. And when they're not there, you're done. So stop depending, stop waiting, start moving. Alone. People ask me all the time, Goggins, how do you keep going when no one's there to clap for you? And I tell them, that's the whole damn point. Nobody's coming. The second you really accept that, you stop waiting for backup. You stop waiting for a partner, a mentor, a team. You stop waiting for someone to validate what you're doing. And that's when you start to grow teeth. Because here's the truth. The moment you rely on somebody else to keep you moving, you've already handed them the keys to your engine. The day they walk away, your engine stalls. And most people do walk away. Not because they're evil, not because they hate you, but because everyone's fighting their own battles. They don't have time to carry yours too. When I was out there running in the middle of the night doing pull-ups until my hands ripped open, there wasn't a crowd cheering. There wasn't a hype team. There was just me, my breath, my pain, and that ugly voice in my head telling me to stop. And I learned something. If you can't face that voice alone, you'll never be free. Most people want comfort more than they want progress. They surround themselves with people who make them feel safe, not people who make them better. And here's the catch. Safety doesn't build strength. Comfort doesn't build calluses. You think lions are made by hanging out in petting zoos? No, they're made out there in the wild, bleeding and starving and hunting for their lives. If you're trying to change your life, you've got to be willing to step into the wilderness, the mental wilderness, where it's just you, your thoughts, and the truth about who you are. And it's going to be lonely, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be boring. But that's where your real self gets built. Stop thinking you need a support system to get started. Build yourself into your own support system. Because there will be days where nobody calls, nobody texts, nobody notices you're grinding. And if your worth depends on their attention, you'll quit every damn time. You got to become dangerous to your own weakness. You've got to get so self-sufficient that you could be dropped in the middle of nowhere with nothing and you still find a way to keep moving forward. That's when life gets different, not because the world changes, but because you do. When you choose to do it alone, you take away all the excuses. You stop saying, I couldn't because so-and-so didn't show up. No, if you fail, it's on you. If you succeed, it's on you. That's real freedom. That's real ownership. And here's the last thing. Doing it alone doesn't mean you'll always be alone. It just means you don't depend on anyone to start. You can build connections later. You can have people in your corner, but your foundation stays unshakable because it's built on your own damn back. So if you're waiting for the perfect partner, the perfect crew, the perfect conditions, stop, lace up, get to work. Not next week, not tomorrow, today, alone. Because once you master that, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you. You think you got time. You think you can wait until your friends are ready, until the timing feels right, until you feel motivated. That's the trap. I learned early, waiting for someone to come save you is a slow death. Nobody's coming. Nobody's going to knock on your door and drag you to greatness. And if they did, you wouldn't even be ready for it. When I was 300 pounds working nights spraying for cockroaches, you think anyone was calling me saying, hey, Goggins, I believe in you, let's get after it? Hell no. They were doing their own thing. And I don't blame them. Everyone's too busy fighting their own battles. That's the point. Your battles are yours alone. The world will give you 1,000 excuses to stay where you are. Wait for the right partner. Wait until you're in a better mood. Wait until you got more money. Let me tell you, waiting will turn into months. Months will turn into years. And before you know it, you're looking back wishing you had started when it was just an idea in your head. When you start alone, there's no one to point fingers at. No one to say, if they slowed me down, you either show up or you don't. And that's the beauty of it. I remember the first time I went out for a run in the cold and the dark and I was the only one on the street. I wanted to quit before I even got to the corner. But then something happened. I realized there was a freedom in it. No one was watching. No one was judging. Every step I took was mine. You've got to stop craving an audience for your growth. Stop looking for a cheer squad before you take your first step. You want a pat on the back, give it to yourself. You've got to understand, people respect results, not intentions. You can talk about your dreams all day, but until you start bleeding for them when no one's around, they're just words. And here's the crazy part. Once you build momentum alone, you become dangerous because now you don't need anyone to keep going. That's when people start noticing. That's when they start saying, man, how are you doing all this? But by then, you're already 10 miles ahead and you're not slowing down for anyone. You want to change your life? Start with something so small, it's impossible to make an excuse. 1 push-up, 1 page of reading, 1 minute of running, and then stack it every single day. That's how you build the machine. But don't fool yourself, it's going to suck. You're going to have mornings where you stare at your shoes for 20 minutes before putting them on. Nights where you wonder why the hell you're doing this. That's normal. That's where most people quit. The difference is you won't, because you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. So stop waiting for permission. Stop looking for a partner to hold your hand. Get used to the sound of your own footsteps, your own breath, your own fight. Because the truth is, the sooner you start walking alone, the sooner you'll realize you never needed anyone in the first place. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Self-reliance is heavy. It's not romantic. It's not some Instagram-worthy moment where you stand on a mountain with the sun behind you. Self-reliance is nights where you question yourself so deeply it feels like you're unraveling. It's saying, I don't need anyone, and then facing the full consequences of that decision. Because when you strip away the safety nets, when you stop expecting someone to come save you, every single win or loss rests on your shoulders. And that's a load most people aren't ready to carry. But here's the flip side. They're also not ready for the power that comes with carrying it. When you start doing things alone, you become dangerous in the best way possible. Dangerous to the excuses. Dangerous to the laziness. Dangerous to the part of yourself that used to wait around for help. You stop relying on maybe and hopefully and start living in I'll make it happen. That changes everything. The weight of self-reliance shapes you differently. It builds a mind that doesn't panic when the plan falls apart because you've trained yourself to adapt. You've been through enough lonely nights and uphill climbs to know you can take the hit and keep moving. That mental armor, you can't buy it, you can't borrow it, you can't fake it, you have to earn it alone. And don't get me wrong, there will be moments where you feel like giving in, times where the idea of having a team, a partner, or even just someone to lean on feels like the easiest way forward. That's when you have to remind yourself, the reason you're doing this alone isn't because you hate people, it's because you need to know you can stand without them. That's the foundation, that's the test. When you choose to take full responsibility for your life, it's not just about the grind, it's about owning the consequences of every decision. There's no blaming the boss, no blaming the coach, no blaming the economy, your upbringing, or the weather. You become the root cause of both your failures and your wins. That's scary for most people, but for the few who embrace it, it's freedom. Because when you own the bad, you also own the good. Here's the kicker. Once you've built yourself up in solitude, once you've proven you can move mountains with your bare hands, then and only then does collaboration become powerful. Because you're no longer leaning on others out of weakness, you're walking beside them out of strength. That's the difference between dependency and choice. Doing it alone is like forging a blade. It's loud, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, but every swing of the hammer makes you sharper. Every setback is heat that hardens you, and when you finally come out the other side, you're unbreakable in a way people who've never walked alone will never understand. So yeah, self-reliance has weight, but it's the kind of weight that turns you into someone you can trust, someone who doesn't flinch when life gets ugly. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need a lifeline. You've built the ability to stand up, dust yourself off, and move forward, no matter who's around. And here's the best part. Once you've learned to carry that weight, nothing, no setback, no betrayal, no failure can ever put you back on your knees for long, because you'll always know you've done it alone before, and you can damn well do it again. Here's the truth nobody tells you. When you choose to do it alone, you inherit all the weight. There's no safety net, no backup, no teammate to hand the ball to when you're tired. And for most people, that's terrifying. But that's where the magic happens, because that weight, that responsibility, that's what forges you. See, when you have someone else to lean on, it's easy to shift blame. It's easy to say we failed. But when it's just you, there's nowhere to hide. Every mistake is yours. Every success is yours. And that accountability turns into an unstoppable drive if you let it. The world is full of people walking around half awake, waiting for a savior, a partner, a team to push them forward. But if you're serious about becoming someone rare, someone who can't be broken, you have to flip that thinking. You have to become the one who doesn't need the push, the one who is the push. And yeah, it's heavy. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days you'll look around and realize there's no one to pat you on the back or tell you you're doing great. But that's exactly why you'll keep moving, because your fuel isn't approval anymore. It's self-respect. It's the quiet pride of knowing you carried the weight alone, step after step until you reach the top. And here's the kicker. Once you've done it alone, no one can ever take it from you. No one can say you were just lucky. No one can claim they built you. You know you did it. And that knowing, that's the kind of power you can't buy, can't fake, and can't be given. You can only earn it by picking up the weight alone and carrying it all the way. You don't need the applause. You don't need the validation. And you damn sure don't need permission. Because at the end of the day, the world isn't going to walk you to your dreams. It's not going to say, hey, we've been waiting for you. Here's your perfect shot. No, the world will keep moving whether you decide to move or not. And that's the reality most people don't want to face. We live in a time where everybody's waiting for some kind of sign. They're waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for the right partner, the right mentor, the right team to hold their hand. And while they're waiting, life is passing them by. I learned something the hard way. If you're waiting for other people to carry you, you're already dead in the water. Because people are unpredictable. People leave. People get distracted. People quit on you. And when they do, if you've been leaning on them for strength, you go down with them. That's why the greatest gift you can give yourself is self-reliance. That's why doing it alone isn't just some motivational slogan. It's survival. When you decide you can handle the weight yourself, you stop worrying about who's around to help. You stop being at the mercy of other people's moods, opinions, or priorities. You become a one-person army. And let me tell you, once you taste that kind of independence, you will never want to go back. You know what's crazy? When you finally become that person who doesn't need anyone, that's when the right people start showing up. Not because you beg for them to stay, but because your energy pulls them in. Strength attracts strength. But the difference is now you're choosing who's in your circle, not depending on them for survival. And that's the switch I want you to flip. When you wake up tomorrow, I don't want you to think who's going to help me today. So I want you to think, how far can I go if no one shows up? That's the question that will separate you from 99% of people. Because here's the thing, most people quit when they're alone. They slow down when no one's watching. They need the eyes, the claps, the likes to keep going. But the ones who make it, they train in the dark. They grind without applause. They bleed, sweat, and cry where no one can see. And that's exactly why they're unstoppable in the light. If you've got a dream, protect it. Build it with your own hands, even if those hands are bleeding. Walk that road alone if you have to, even if every step feels like it's breaking you. Because one day when you reach the top, you'll know you didn't get there because someone carried you. You got there because you refused to quit. And that feeling, that's freedom. So stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for someone to join you. Stop stalling because you think you need more help. You are enough. You are capable. And if you truly want it, you can do it alone. Now, get moving.